They don't know my story, they just know my sound.
Is the key to being successful in any business is making the decision and sticking with it.
I feel like I was pushed on purpose.
And I feel like I was in the birthing room.
Every single one of you have faced things in your life, have overcome things, and because of that, you have the responsibility to share your message with the world. And you have the responsibility to take those lessons that you've learned and use it to help other people.
Hello guys. Welcome to the birthing experience where we help coaches birth their mastery. I am super excited because this is episode 2. All right, so this is episode 2 and we're talking all about the mindset miscarriage. All right, so we were talking about I'll be giving you content to help you develop a better coaching mindset, as well as talking to you about how to reduce the risk so you do not miscarry your mastery, okay? So I am going to take a moment to share this out. I want you guys to do the same. We are carrying the same announcement that we had last week. Every single share is an entry in this month's giveaway where we'll be choosing 2 people to send a gift to, right? So each share is an entry. So I'm going to take a moment to share this out. I want you guys to share this out too. Again, we're talking about the mindset miscarriage. If you are new here, it's your first time, put hashtag new in your name below so I can say what's up. And if you are returning and that means you was with us last week, just say I'm back so I can say hello to you. Okay, so I'm going to share this out for 1 minute and make sure we have this up and running, and then we're going to jump into the content. Hey, Sina. Thank you for joining. How are you, my darling? Again, if you are new this week, just put hashtag new below. And if you're returning, just say I'm back so I can say what's up with you. Don't forget that each share is an entry in our giveaway for this month, okay? So today we're talking about the mindset miscarriage, just in case you are new. Hey, Vanessa, how are you, darling? Thank you for joining. Hey, Renelli, how are you? Welcome back. Thank you for joining. So we're talking about the mindset miscarriage. I just want to introduce myself, especially for those of you who it's your first time here with us at the birthing experience. My name is Niala Phillip, the Master Midwife, and I am a trained professional with the skills and expertise in helping you recognize, birth, and mastering your true purpose, okay? So I've developed a unique system. It's actually called the P4 birthing system, and it's basically designed to help you prep, plan, push, and produce your mastery. So each week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can meet us here, right here on Facebook at the Birthing Experience Show, where we'll have new episodes, and all the content that we share is all about helping you master your mindset, your messaging, your marketing, and your money. So this month is all about mindset, right? And I want to talk to you guys about what I call the mindset miscarriage. All right, the different risks that some of you may be facing right now, what to look out for, and how to start developing a better mindset so you can be a better coach and so you can serve your clients better. All right, so that's what we're doing today. Let me make sure I say, hey, I'm back. Welcome back, Vanessa. Hey, Tracy, thank you for joining. How are you? Again, if you're new, put hashtag new below so I can say welcome. If you are returning, just say I am back. All right, and we're doing something new for this week and moving forward. If anything that I say tonight speaks to you, resonates with you, it's worth sharing, I want you guys to put the hashtag message below. All you're saying is you're sending me a message. This message is for me, okay? So anything that resonates with you, just put hashtag message below, All right. All right. So I'm going to recap a little bit about what we talked about last week, especially for those of you who are new. Last week, we spoke about the 5 signs that you are expecting. Okay. We spoke about, you know, when a woman is pregnant, right? They go through different stages of birth. So from the time they get pregnant, they start to feel symptoms that tell them they are pregnant, right? Then they acknowledge they're pregnant and they start to go through the developing of this baby. And all through each stage of this pregnancy, they are feeling symptoms, right? Their body is changing to prepare for a baby to come. So last week, what we spoke about is the different signs and symptoms that you may be facing right now that is basically your body telling you, listen, you have something bigger that you should be doing. You have something greater in store for you. You need to get in position, right? So I'm going to give you the 5 symptoms we spoke about really quick, just to make sure that those of you who are new with us understand exactly the type of content you're going to get at the birthing experience, and really understand the journey that we're going to be going on together this year. Okay. So the first symptom was extreme tiredness, right? We talked about, you know, if you're feeling that you're tired of your life, you're tired of your job, you're tired of working hard and seeing no results, right? You're tired of the people who are around you. Is basically saying, listen, you got to get around new people. Listen, it's time to make a change. Listen, you got to pay attention to this symptom that you're getting, right? That's what your body is telling you, right? So the next symptom that we spoke about was having an upset stomach, right? And we talked about if you are in the position where, you know, you're struggling with growing your presence, or you're struggling with growing your platform, you're feeling sick, you're feeling overwhelmed, right? Those are all signs that you are expecting something more. You're expecting something bigger, and you're expecting something greater. Hey, Ada, how are you, my darling? We also spoke about cravings, right? And we talked about when a woman is pregnant, they have these cravings. For me, I shared with you guys last week that when I was pregnant with my daughter, my craving was pineapple pizza, right? And we all have these cravings. Well, as a business owner, and even if you're not one yet, but you're here with me and you're like, have this itch that's telling you that you have a skill and you have a story and you have a message and you should be sharing it, right? You have a craving. That's what that's called. You're longing for something more. You want to do more. You want to be more. You want to impact more. And that's the signs that your body is saying, listen, it's time to get in position, right? So again, if I'm saying something that speaks to you, just put #message below. Okay. This is going to help me understand what speaks to you guys, right? Now, the 4th symptom that we spoke about last week was mood swings. Right? Now, this one is really, really big because as business owners, we go through this every day. Sometimes we go through 5 and 6 different moods for the day. We wake up in the morning, we are excited. We are ready to knock the to-do list out, right? And then sometimes by 10 o'clock, we're like, okay, staring at the computer, what am I doing, right? And now the stress is starting to creep in. And then you start to see the day is going by and maybe you didn't make a sale, or maybe you didn't accomplish what you thought you would, or maybe you didn't cross off everything on the list. And now you're like beating yourself up, and all of that is mood swings. Okay, up one day, down one day, up one moment, down one moment. It means that you're expecting, right? So what we talked about last week is don't run away when you're feeling those symptoms. Pay attention to it, because it is your body that's telling you you are meant for something more. There's something greater. You are expecting something more. All right. And before we get into talking about our mindset miscarriage, one more thing. We talked about one more symptom, and that was headaches, right? Headaches, overwhelmed because it's too much to learn, too much to do, too many resources that you need, and your head is hurting. Guess what? You're not alone. Congratulations. You're expecting, right? So if you are someone who's listening and you missed last week's episode, head over, when you're done with us today, make sure you go and you listen to that episode, because I went a lot deeper on those symptoms. All right. Okay, so let's jump in. We're talking about the mindset miscarriage. We're talking about that dreadful word. And you know, miscarriage is just a very unfortunate thing, yet it's common. Right? A lot of women have miscarriages, and it's basically a spontaneous process. Right? A spontaneous process. And it can be both physically and emotionally painful for women. All right? Another thing about miscarriages is that once it's started, it cannot be reversed. So I have news for you. The great thing about mindset miscarriages is that it can be reversed. It can be reversed. So with the right strategies, with the right tools, with consistency, and with you taking specific action, you can reverse the different mindset issues that you have right now that may be stopping you from reaching your goals and seeing the level of success that you want to see. Okay? All right, so we're going to jump in. So make sure I say hello to everybody, and I got everybody. Hey, Tammy, welcome. Thank you for joining. Again, don't forget to share this video out. Each share equals an entry in our giveaway. At the end of the month, we'll be choosing 2 people where we'll be sending you a free gift to help you grow your business. All right. All right. So like I said, miscarriages are unfortunate, right? And there are some women who are at a greater risk than other women, right? And there might be some factors in their body that causes them to be at a greater risk than some other women. And because of that, it's really important that they are taking care of their body, that they are following a healthy plan so it can ensure that they have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy delivery. Well, the same thing goes with coaches. The same thing goes for us coaches, right? So after working with tons of coaches, one of the things that I can tell you that makes one coach risk greater than another is always the mindset. All right. It's not what you know. A lot of you know the content. A lot of you know the steps you're supposed to take. A lot of you have invested in yourself. A lot of you have been in the industry for a long time and you are educating yourself. You know, but it's something with the mindset that's stopping you from doing what you have to do. And in all my years of coaching, this is what I found. The number one cause is mindset, right? So some coaches have not yet developed the mindset that they need to serve themselves as well as their clients on a mastery level. All right. So as a master midwife, it's my job to help you identify those risks. And those are the risks that we're going to be speaking about. OK, so last week I mentioned to you guys that everything starts with the mind, right? Everything starts with the mind. So how you think about yourself, how you think about your abilities, all of that has to do with how you show up as well as how you interact with your clients. I went to a conference matter of fact, Renelli is on with us tonight. Shout out to the Lift conference. And I remember there was a speaker, Dr. Fred Jones, and he was talking about becoming an author. And he was giving some tips, and he made this tidbit that I had to tweet out, because what he said is a lot of people are writing books and they still have a negative mindset. So all they're doing is writing books and putting their negative mindset in the books and spreading out this negative mindset. So here's my thing. It's the same thing for coaching. As a coach, you have to develop your mindset so that way you can serve your clients better. Right? You have to also make sure that you have the right mindset and you're working on that personal development so you can serve your clients better, so you can provide more transformations to your clients. I want you guys to just put #message below if I'm speaking to you and if you agree with me. Okay? So my goal today is, number one, help you develop that coaching mindset. Right? And I'm going to go through 5 risks, because some has to do with mindset and some has to do with the actions that you're taking. So I'm going to go through 5 risks with you. All right. So number 1, the first risk is your heirs. Your heirs has your mastery at risk. What do I mean by that? I wrote this on the Birthing Experience page this week, and it said, you can't hear if you won't hush. hashtag message. You can't hear if you won't hush. Okay? So has there ever been a time when you might have been in some sort of a disagreement, right? Two people, difference of opinions, right? And you're trying to get your point across, and you're trying to get your point across so much that you're not listening to what the other person is saying. You're not even hearing what the other person is saying. Have you ever been in that situation before? I know I have. This is one thing that I have been working on consistently for the last couple of years. I actively still work on this, which is listening, which is knowing how to be quiet sometimes, because I'm definitely a talker. So have you ever been in that position where you're trying to get your point across so bad that you can't hear the other person and nothing ever gets solved? As a matter of fact, sometimes the disagreement can escalate because both people aren't listening. Have you been in that position before? Just put hashtag me below. Right? It just sounds like confusion because you can't hear if you don't hush. Right? You can't hear if you don't hush. And the people who struggle with this, the coaches who struggle with this, I call this the know-it-all mindset. Okay? I call this the know-it-all mindset. So some of you have a I know-it-all mindset. A mindset that you are always right, that you know what you should be doing at all times, right? And because you have this know-it-all mindset, it makes it harder for you to listen. It makes it harder for you to listen because you believe that what you're saying is right. And as a coach, it is the worst way that you can be. As a coach, you have to actively practice listening. Okay? You have to develop that ability to actively listen when someone is speaking to you. And I can go even further because those of you who know me know that my area of expertise is marketing and sales. Okay? So especially when getting on the phone and having sales conversations. And I can tell you for a fact that a lot of the coaches who I coach right now struggle with sales conversions because they don't listen. A lot of you are putting out offers that people aren't buying because you're not listening to what your audience is telling you. Okay? So as a coach, it is important that we learn how to listen. All right? Now, is this something you can learn overnight? Absolutely not. This is something that takes practice. At the end of the day, like natural humans, we are me-centric people. Okay? We are me-centric people. Naturally. All right. So we have to actively practice and participate in listening. So here are some ways, and I want you guys to take notes if you're with me, right? Here are some ways that you can actively participate and listen and implement these strategies. If you continue to implement these strategies that I'm going to give you, it's going to become second nature. And these are very easy, guys, but you have to become aware of it, okay? So number one, when a client or prospect, or let's say you go to an event, let's say you have a speaking engagement and somebody pulls you aside after you get off the stage. If someone is talking to you, avoid distractions. That's number one. Avoid distractions. If you have a cell phone in your hand, put it down. If there are other people talking, look them straight in the eye. That's actually my second tip. Look them straight in the eye. Avoid distractions. That's one way that you can actively listen. The second way, look them straight in the eye. Even when I'm on Zoom calls, sometimes I have like my notebook and stuff in front of me, and I want to make sure that I'm still looking into the camera. I want to make sure that you still know that I'm attentive and that I'm hearing everything that you're saying. Because one of the things that I've realized with clients is they want to feel like you're listening. A lot of times that's what your coaching calls are about. Them speaking and getting what they need to get out, and you are listening, okay? Number three, the third strategy. Let them finish before speaking. Okay, so when someone is speaking to you, let them finish before speaking. Listen, guys, your mastery is at risk. If you are not getting clients, if you are in 2019 and this is like your third or fourth year in business and you still have not hit six figures, you still have not experienced getting 2, 3, and 4 consistent months of earning 5 figures and attracting clients and getting speaking engagements and attracting opportunities, if this is not happening for you, your mastery is at risk. Your mastery is at risk. And you need to know why. Okay? So when people are speaking to you, listen to them. Let them finish before speaking. Another thing that I like to do that started, that helps me, be aware is I always like to repeat back what I heard. Okay? I always like to repeat back what I heard. So if someone is talking to me, especially a client, because that's what I'm talking about right now, you and your clients' relationships, right? And your prospects. If someone is talking to you, just repeat back. It also lets a person know, guess what? She's listening. Okay? All right? Okay. Now, number 2, the second risk factor that you have to pay attention to is your mouth. Your mouth. So your mouth is putting your mastery at risk. #message. Your mouth is putting your mastery at risk. And let me tell you how. And this is another skill that I had to develop over the years. And you will too if you want to be a successful coach. Let me tell you what that is. Asking powerful questions. Asking powerful questions. Questions that get your prospects and your clients to think. Questions that challenges their assumptions and their beliefs. Questions that makes them want to go past the boundaries, right? Questions that inspire action, right? Instead of leaving them right where they are, right? One of the things that I think we struggle with, at least for me, one of the things that I struggled with when I first started coaching, because I also had a know-it-all mindset, right, is that I would always want to tell you what to do. And that is the worst thing that you can do as a coach, right? You want to ask the right questions that help your clients lead to a solution or lead themselves to an answer. Now, many of you who are listening to me, you are coaches. So if you can resonate with me, just put #message below. If you've been in the position, or maybe you've been in the position as a client, and it's like, wait a minute, is she forcing me to do this? Is she forcing her way on me? Or is she guiding me through? Is she keeping me accountable through this? Right? So you as a coach have to ask powerful questions, because if you're not, guess what? Your mouth is putting your mastery at risk. All right. So I'm going to give you 3 types of questions that I want you guys to focus on. That's going to help you. Again, I told you that starting episode 2, I wasn't only going to shed light on what's going on, but I'm also giving you the strategy, the tools, the tips, and the steps that you need to take to start mastering your mindset. Start developing your mindset as a coach so you can serve your clients better. All right, so let me just look at these comments real quick. I don't want to ignore you guys. Me. Okay. All right, so before we do the questions, make sure you guys share this out. All right, and we're going to talk about 3 different types of questions that you can use that's going to help you with becoming a better coach and providing a better experience. All right. So one of the reasons why I think coaches struggle with this right here is because they have what I call the me complex. All right. So it's kind of stemming off of the know-it-all mindset, which is you're always ready to tell your take. You're always ready to tell your opinion. You're always ready to give your suggestions. And a lot of time it comes from a good place, but as a coach, it's not needed most of the time, right? You're always ready to give your experience. You're always ready to give your instructions. And while as a coach, it's really good to teach from experience, you must know how to ask the right questions. All right. So that way you can lead your clients to the transformation themselves. All right. So when a client has a problem, instead of coming up with the solution and just saying, oh, well, I think you should do this, ask questions that's going to help them develop, help them find that solution. Okay, so here's the first type of question I want you guys to focus on. These are questions that reflect active listening. These are very easy. When they say something to you, you say something like, let me know if I heard you correctly. And then you repeat back what they said and you say, am I correct? Right? And once you say that, all of a sudden they're like, yes, that's what I meant because such and such and such. And you start to get more information from them. Okay. The second type of question that I want you guys to focus on are questions that evoke discovery, insight, and action. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. Right now, I am promoting a summit challenge that I'm getting ready to do, a 5-day challenge that I'm getting ready to do, right? And one of the assumptions that people have about challenges is that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of tech and it's a lot of work. And because of that, they're not really sure if they can do it, okay? And that's an assumption. That's a misconception, right? And if a client is speaking to me and I'm recommending that maybe they should do a summit and join this challenge, and they say to me, well, I really don't want to do the challenge because I feel like you need a huge team to help, right? Instead of you starting to convince, and this one is, as I'm speaking to you guys, I'm actually remembering because this is something that I do. I think I still actively do this. So it's good that we're talking and having an open dialogue about this, right? So instead of saying to a person, no, the reason why you should do the summit is this, what you would do is you'll ask a question. You'll say, what makes you think that? What makes you think that you need a huge team to do a summit? Do you know what that does? It helps them answer more. It provokes more information so you can understand exactly where they are. Okay, so I want you guys to just tap up the screen. I want you guys to just give me a 1 in the chat box if you understand what I mean when I say ask those questions that's going to help them come to an action. All right, so if they say, so I thought that I would need a huge team. And I say, well, what makes you think that? And then they come back and they say, well, I had a friend who did a summit and, she was so overwhelmed because right? And they start to give you all the reasons why they don't want to do it. Again, instead of me convincing, now I can turn around and say, well, did that friend have a coach? Did that friend have someone that was giving them the blueprint or the roadmap? Right? Now what am I doing? I'm starting to inspire them where they're like, okay, wait, that's true. I have a coach. Yeah, that's true. I have right? So you're inspiring action and you're helping them get to that revelation on their own instead of telling them what to do. This is so important as a coach. Okay. Now, third type of question that you want to, have in your arsenal. These are questions that move your client to what they desire. And I'm going to give you guys a little story about this. These are questions that move your clients more to what they desire. So instead of asking them questions that help them justify their feelings or help them stay within negativity, you ask them questions that help them focus on what they truly desire. So I'm going to tell you guys a story. And this just happened last weekend. So I got a Facebook message from a client, and she was a little upset. She sent me a snapshot. And it was a message from someone she knew on one of her posts. And the message was really a discouraging message. Anyone who's an entrepreneur, if they have seen this message, they would have been very discouraged and probably went hiding after that, right? So I got on the phone with her right away. And the first thing she said is, how you feel about that? Right? And I could hear it in her voice that she was hurt and that she was very upset and she probably wanted to react on this post, which would have made her look more bad. Now, as a friend, if someone were to call me like that or send a message to me like that, I probably would start saying, oh, well, how do you feel? And let them vent and, listen to what they had to say. But with my client, I didn't do that at all. Right? So what I said to her is I said, so let me ask you a question. Is this really your time? Is this really your time? She stayed black for a minute. Yeah. I said, well, when you invested with me and you said that, listen, this was the largest investment that you ever made, you said that this was your time. So is this your time? Yes, this is your time. This is my time. Okay, so what do you have to say about the message? She stays quiet for a minute. And then she comes back and she says, you know what? I'm just going to block this person. That's it. I'm just going to block this person. And I didn't say anything, guys, but on the other end of the phone, my whole mouth just smiled. Because I didn't have to say anything. Just by asking that one question, she was able to realize that she didn't need that person. If that person was willing to embarrass her on Facebook, she really didn't need to be connected with that person. Right? So this is just a way of bringing people back to why they came to you. All right, let's say you're a health coach and a client calls you and she's like, oh my goodness, I know that I was supposed to follow the meal plan this week, but I'm feeling this. Instead of you allowing her to stick in negativity, you ask her more about the goals. Remind her about what she said she wanted when she first started. Ask her, is that really what you want? Take her back to her desires. Put hashtag message if you guys are understanding me. Okay? Put hashtag message if you guys are understanding the power of your mouth. And if you don't know how to ask the right questions, how that's even affecting you getting clients. Asking the right questions and knowing when to hush and listen. Okay? All right, so number 3, this is your third risk. All right? The third risk right now that's affecting some of you is previous miscarriages. Okay? Previous miscarriages. Don't let your past kill your present. Hashtag message. Don't let your past kill your present. Right? So I looked this up, guys, because you know I actually did the research, right? So I looked it up, and when a woman loses a baby, here are some of these symptoms and some of the experiences that they feel. Number 1, they tend to go into a depression state for a little while after, right? They have trouble sleeping, okay? They have difficulty concentrating, loss of appetite, frequent episodes of crying, broken and suffering relationships with family and friends. Some of them even have suicidal thoughts, okay? And I want you guys to listen to those symptoms that I just mentioned, because if you've previously had some failures, if you previously had some mishaps, if you previously had some shortcomings, maybe you made some bad investments, maybe you made some bad decisions, maybe you invested in some coaches and you got burnt, maybe you lost some money, maybe you did some collaborations and it went south, and because you've had those previous miscarriages, right now you're stagnant and you're stuck. Well, I don't know if I want to invest in a coach again because this happened to me before. Previous miscarriages. Okay? I don't know if I want to go out and tell people my ideas because this happened to me before. Previous miscarriages. And these previous miscarriages have you stuck. Now, don't let your past hurt your present. Okay? So what they said here is, when you have these miscarriages, what happened is the second time you get pregnant, you're at a greater risk to have miscarriages again. So what usually happens when a woman has a miscarriage is, number 1, they go through the grief stage, right? And they're like, scared. Then they get scared because they don't really want to try again, right? And then when they do finally get over that fear and they try again, and maybe they get pregnant, for that first 3 months, they're in eggshells and they're nervous and they don't want to tell anybody because they're scared that this may happen to them again. Understand that these are real feelings that all of you may be going through right now, because what? You've had some previous miscarriages. You've had some previous failures, and because of that, you don't want to try again. You've been burnt, and because of that, you don't want to try again. So these previous miscarriages is stopping you from your present. Right now, the action that you should be taking. Don't let your past kill your present. Okay? Okay? What they say is when you allow the fear of failure, the fear of, losing investments again and all, when you operate in that fear, what happens is it causes extreme stress. It causes inaction, meaning you're stagnant. It causes worry. It causes anxiety. Just put #message below if you've been there or you're there right now. Because you failed, well, I tried to do an event and not a lot of people showed up, so I don't know if I want to do this event again. I've been there. I don't know about you, but I've been there. And that means that right now, those previous miscarriages it has your mastery at risk. Okay? Because what you're doing is you're focusing on the pain from that experience. Okay? And the pain from that experience won't let you learn from it so you can try again. Won't let you learn from it so you can try again. Right? So here's how you turn the pain from loss. Here's how you turn the disappointment into power. Here's how you do that. Number one, and I hope you guys again are taking notes and you took a moment to share this video out, okay? So number one, allow yourself to feel the pain. There is no business owner that's never failed. We all have had previous miscarriages. Okay? Allow yourself to feel it. Number two, learn from it. Learn from it. And number three, try again, being better prepared. So one of the things that I know when women have miscarriages is when they go back to their doctor and they're ready to try again, their doctor put them on a plan. Their doctor gives them certain diets and certain actions and bed rests and certain things that they need to do to ensure that they'll have a healthy delivery this time, a healthy pregnancy this time, right? So they didn't say, well, don't ever get pregnant again, right? They say, okay, grieve, we got it, it happened, all right? Feel it, go through it, but then we want you to come back and we're going to prepare you so you can do this again. It is the same thing with your business. Okay, let me drink some water here, guys. Okay, so number one, allow yourself to feel it. Number two, learn from it. And number three, try again, being better prepared. Do not let your previous miscarriages stop you from giving birth to the greatness that's inside of you right now. Do not let your previous miscarriages keep you playing small, which is what some of you are doing right now. And many of you are doing it because of your previous miscarriages. Again, if I'm resonating with you, just put #message below. Okay? Now, the fourth risk factor that you got to pay attention to is your weight. Some of you are overweight, and I do not mean by size. Okay? So are you a Jane of all trades or are you a master of none? All right, this is what I call the I can do it all syndrome. So some of you right now are overweight because you're trying to do everything. You're trying to be everything. You're trying to carry the whole load, and it's more than what you can handle. Okay? So you want to be the coach, which means as the coach, you have to coach clients. You have to market yourself so you can get clients. You have to follow up with leads. You have to continue to position yourself, right? As in, you want to be an assistant. As an assistant, you have to answer all the emails. You have to provide customer support, right? You are your own accountant. You have to keep up with all the payments that's coming in. Keep up with the financial statements. You have to do your own taxes. You're your own social media manager. You have to create all the graphics. Figure out this whole online space, right? Take time to engage with your audience. Schedule social media posts. And all of this means you're overweight and it's overwhelming, right? And you can't master any of it because you're just doing too much. You're overweight. You got to lose that weight, and it is a risk factor. Look it up. It is a risk factor of pregnancy. You're overweight. You're doing too much. Okay? Another way that some of you are overweight is in the area of your specialty. So you're a coach, and let's say you're in the online marketing niche, right? And you specialize in everything. I do everything. So I am a master at sales funnels. I'm a master at live streaming. I'm a master speaker, and I can teach you how to speak. I'm a master at productivity, right? I can help you write your book. And I got a life coaching certification too, honey. You just doing it all. Guess what? You're overweight. You're overweight, and it is a risk that you're taking. You're not taking the time to become a master in a specific area. You're not taking the time to become a master at one thing so you can demand the pricing that I know many of you want. So you can start to see yourself grow in your business. You're overweight and you got to lose the weight. Your mastery is at risk. It is a risk factor. Your mastery is at risk. Okay, guys, again, if you understand what I'm saying, put hashtag message below. If you resonate with what I'm saying, put hashtag message below. And if you have not yet shared this video, take a moment to share it now, okay? So each of your shares is going to equal an entry to our giveaway this week, all right, this month. So we're choosing 2 people where we'll be sending you a free gift to help you grow your business. So each share equals an entry in the giveaway. So make sure you guys share this video out. And even if it wasn't a giveaway, let me just say that this content is good and people need to hear this. There are people out there who's at risk and they need to hear this message, right? All right, so risk number 5. This is the last risk that some of you may be facing right now, and that's chronic conditions. Chronic conditions, okay? So statistics show that 1 in 4 women suffer miscarriages due to one of these chronic conditions. Here it is. 1, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. All right, so statistics show 1 in 4 women suffer miscarriages due to one of these chronic conditions, right? So let me ask you guys a question. What chronic conditions do you have? What practices, what behaviors, and what self-limiting beliefs have you been using that's keeping you right where you are in a space of procrastination, lack of productivity, and lack of progression? Okay? What practices, what behaviors, and what self-limited beliefs have you been using that has you in this space? Space of procrastination, lack of productivity, and lack of progression. The things you are telling yourself has your mastery at risk. It's a chronic condition, right? So they say, as a man thinketh, so is he. So some of you are saying, I don't have enough credibility. And because you're saying that, it's causing you to hide. See, because everything that you tell yourself, there's an action behind it. So if you're saying, I don't have the credibility, you believe you're not good enough, and the action is you hide. You don't show up enough. Okay? Some of you are saying, well, my story isn't special. People have heard it all before. And because you're saying that, guess what's the action? You're not sharing your story. So you're not connecting with clients. Your audience is not growing. You are unknown. And you're begging for your brand and your message to be known. But because you're saying, you know what? They've heard it all before. The action is, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just stay quiet, right? Some of you are saying, people don't care what I have to say. So again, instead of you speaking out, your message is quiet. You're not sharing your message. Why? Because as a man thinketh, so is he. What you say, you bring about. So if you think you're not worth it, if you think people don't want to hear you, then you're not going to open your mouth to speak. If you resonate with me, put hashtag message below. Okay? Some of you are saying before you even get started, this is going to be hard. I don't know if I can do this. And because you're saying to yourself, this is going to be hard, I don't know if I can do this, you stay stagnant. Why? Because there's a fear of failing before you even get started. If this is resonating with you, put in the comments below, hashtag message. Because right now, your chronic condition has your mastery at risk. And what did I say? Everything starts with your mindset. If you don't master your mindset, your mastery will be at risk. Okay? Some of you, your practices are off. So maybe you're someone that thinks everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect before it goes out online. So guess what? It never goes out. Why? Because nothing's perfect. You're striving for something that's not there, so it never goes out. That's a practice that you need to work on, if that's you. Another thing, you compare yourselves to others. You convince yourself that someone is better than you. So you know what you do? You continue to hide. Come on now. If this resonates with you, hashtag message. And because you are not actively working on changing these practices, changing these thoughts, you know what's happening? The same issues are appearing over and over again. You know what that is? That's God saying, I'm going to keep making you go through that until you learn. Right? Like I'm going to make you keep experiencing that until you learn. It's a chronic condition. If you notice that the same things are happening over and over and over again in your life, in your business, it is a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call that you have to start feeding your mind with better things. You have to start saying the right things out of your mouth. You have to start getting yourself around the right people. It is a wake-up call that your mastery is at risk, because if you can't master your mindset, you will miscarry your mastery. And these are all the risk factors right now that I'm pretty sure you're like, oh my gosh, is she speaking to me? So I want to go through these steps one more time, especially for those of you who may be coming in late, okay? I want to go through these risk factors one more time, all right? Again, if you haven't shared this out yet, take a moment to share this out right now. And guys, if you've ever experienced anything like what you have heard me speak about tonight, let me know below if you're open to sharing. This is how we learn. As a matter of fact, one of the strategies to getting over your fear is actually just putting your fear out there. So if you've ever experienced anything like this before, or maybe you're feeling this right now, let us know below. I'll come back and I'll talk to you. Okay? So first risk factor. First risk factor is your ears. You can't hear if you won't hush. Hashtag message. Somebody write that. You can't hear if you won't hush. As a coach, you have to learn how to be quiet and listen. As a business owner, you have to learn how to be quiet and listen. As a person who is growing, you have to learn how to be quiet and listen. Okay? Number 2, the second risk factor is your mouth. Your mouth is putting your mastery at risk. You want to know why? Because you're so busy telling everybody which way, what way, and up and down way that you are not asking the right questions that helps your clients to more transformation. And if you're not getting clients yet, guess what? Then you are not putting out the right questions and putting out the right content and saying the right things that's going to get people to realize that you are the solution for them. Your mouth is putting your mastery at risk. Okay? The third risk factor is that you're overweight. Okay? You're overweight. Actually, that was number 4. We'll go back to the third. So the fourth is that you're overweight. So that means you're trying to do too much. You're trying to be all. Okay? And because of that, you're overweight. And that is putting your mastery at risk. In order to master something, you have to be willing to be very specific on what you do. You know, so I did a live stream in my group recently where I spoke about the laws of ones, and I'm not going to really go through that to, right now. I'm going to just touch on it a little bit. But listen, if you don't know what I'm talking about, my Facebook group is the Business Laws for Coaches, and in there you'll get more exclusive content to help you with growing your business. But I did a live stream where I talked about the law of ones, and I spoke about how in order to reach success faster, you have to have, one niche market, one message, one service that you're providing, right? And when you get it to be profitable, then you add on more, right? But the problem that a lot of people have, and the problem that I had when I got started, was trying to do too much, right? And it means that you're overweight. So none of it is working because you're not mastering anything. Okay, if this resonates with you, put #message below. Okay, so the third one, because we skipped the third. The third is previous miscarriages. Meaning some of you have failed before. Some of you had, made bad investments, made bad decisions, had some bad experiences in your business. And because of that, it got you stagnant. It got you stuck. You don't want to try again. The stress and the worry and the anxiety that you're feeling because of those previous miscarriages is stopping you in your present now. It's stopping you from taking the action that you need to take now. Okay? And then the fifth risk factor that we spoke about was chronic illnesses. So what are the self-limiting beliefs that you have? What are those thoughts that you're thinking? What are you telling yourself? You're not good enough. You don't have enough credibility. No one wants to hear what you have to say. What are you afraid? What are they going to say? That chronic condition is putting your mastery at risk. And if you don't master your mindset and start to change some of these habits, guys, guess what? You will miscarry your mastery. And that is what I don't want to see happen. Okay, that is what I don't want to see happen. All right. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for episode 2. Again, if you have not shared this video out, take a moment to share it out now. Those of you who are on the replay, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys share. Each one of your shares equals an entry. Okay. Next week, we're going to be talking all about, ouch, it hurts. How to use your pain to push. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about how to use that pain, even that pain that we started talking about today, how to use that pain to push. All right, so I want you guys to meet me back here next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 3. This has been episode 2. I'm Niala Phillip, the Master Midwife, and my job is to help you prep, plan, push, and produce your mastery.